Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Strafe Gal. We are theoretically at the last level. They tend to add more at the end of Tower of Fate, and these levels tend to be pretty hard, so this will either be a short video or a normal video, depending on that, but... Oh. Okay. That's a whole different kind of weird than I was expecting. Great. Huh. I don't even know. This is weird. So I was when I realized what was going on, I was expecting a smooth portal response. No, like... But it has this weird delay to it. This one feels smoother. Really? I misremembered how many fish there were in that line. I think my favorite part about that merit award is the fact that I probably would have accidentally gotten it. Okay. Spend all that time lining up. So, once again, I find myself saying, shouldn't this have warranted a, shouldn't this have warranted a save point by the point I had gotten to? I may have been right before it, and knowing my luck, that's possibly what had happened, but it felt really awkward. Like, the timing on it was just not right. Like, that's a relatively difficult room to start with. I realize it's the last level, and to some extent you can justify not having the save point, but in general, these last few floors in this game have felt very long. Starting with Propeller Knight and going up through this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it feels like there should be a save point after this room. Yep, I hate this. I don't like this mechanic at all. Oh my gosh. I hate it. I just hate it. Okay. Like, I get it's the last level, but still wasn't a checkpoint. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't care so much if it wasn't always these stupid deaths. Like, there are games that have less checkpoints or whatever, but they have a lot of these really, like, tricky traps in this. Like the bomb. Like, if I was at low health and went into that bomb, glad that I was finally getting a little bit of healing after not getting some for a while, because there's not that much healing in this, I would be pissed. Like, it's not a good feeling death. I'm trying to figure out how you're actually supposed to do this at this point. Like, I don't know, the timing on it's just weird. I'm aware that I haven't really enjoyed the mechanics in King of Cards for the most part. The level design on this one just feels mean compared to a lot of the other ones. Like, I watch a lot of the YouTube stuff that I like to watch is Mario Maker gameplay, and there's like a whole contingent of troll levels in it, and while those are mean, they are mean in the context of people who are who know what's going on coming in. Like, the whole point is that you know what's going on. They're not trying to screw over random people. They're usually pretty straightforward about it. Seriously? At least I got the checkpoint. Gems. Not that I really care. I don't think I've got anything else to buy. where I'm supposed to go. Okay then. Standard tower fate. Maybe? This level does have merit awards for some reason. So, oh. Okay then. So, unlike most of the Enchantress levels, there was actual platforming. And again, that last one, if I hadn't had the bubble, I would have died. Doing what felt natural. There she is! Follow me this way! And you've brought your jesters as well, you know. You don't need to keep them. You're the important one here. Preposterous. We stand together as kingdoms and people, as it should be. Our roots run deep in the waters, and our friendship has hatched and blossomed through respect. Now that I have my own voice, hear me clearly. I am no king, but our flock flies in formation. Under that bravery and conviction lies fear and uncertainty. Who among you is ready to meet their demise? Strike true, King Knight. All of our hopes lie with you. She's gonna stay down there? Huh. I'm not feeling it yet. Which doesn't surprise me. made some progress there, but it's usually a multi-stage boss, and I'm really not looking forward to seeing what the next stage is. this is a separate video. I really hope there isn't a second phase to this. Well, I learned something there, even though it was then dropped into the abyss. Of course the floor came up right there. I probably should have timed it better, but that's nice to know that there's a little trick there. We can stand on the burning floor. While she's underneath. That was completely my fault. I actually pushed the button. A lot of this has felt really cheap, because if you happen to be standing on it, the way the jump mechanics work, you are really screwed. Not nearly as good as last time. I got her down to a half heart that one time. You're doing it, son. She's hanging on by a thread. Our champion prevails. We're rooting for you, King Knight. These are the so-called leaders of the kingdom. A king acts, not huddles behind a champion. Shun these cowards. King Knight, cast them off. You are the true king. Let's twist these false monarchs into something more useful, Long live the kings, ho-ho. What? Okay. Well, let's at least hope it starts on this phase. Or it ends up easy. I'm not reassured by the fact that they just give us refilled our entire bar there. Oh! I just realized I was at 1 health. No, we're gonna keep going, because... shouldn't have risked it. It's like, I'm so close! Okay, good, we're starting at this phase. This boss is much more reasonable. Like, this feels like an actual... This feels fun. I think that's the best way to put it, is... A lot of that last section didn't feel fun. It felt like it was intentionally challenging, like it was trying to hit that... There's very much a retro gamer market for challenging platformers. Now, I like challenging platformers, but there's a difference between... Actually, go over here. There's a difference between a challenging platformer and a platformer that feels unfair. And these... Or I guess a game that feels okay. And a game that feels unfair. The example that I've heard is actually Dark Souls, which is very well known for being an extremely challenging game. The thing about a Souls game, though, is they are fair. They are extremely fair. When you are playing a Dark Souls game, it's this mentality of, I screwed up. You never question. And yes, there's challenging things in the game. But that doesn't make the game... This is a dead one. The game never feels the game is challenging, and you know that going in. And when you die, it's not the game was unfair. It's not the game cheated, or I felt like I couldn't do anything. It's always this mentality of I should have seen that. I should have reacted better. I should have, I could have done something. Next time, I will learn and do this better. Most of Shovel Knight feels closer, or the challenging parts of Shovel Knight at least, feel closer to that Dark Souls mentality, or a classic platformer. My big problem with this game, with King of Cards, outside of the card game, which I actually really like, has been that the controls make it feel like you don't feel like you have control playing the game. And so that means that a lot of times when it feels like a game, when you die, it's not, oh, I screwed up, I could have done better. It's, I'm not sure what I could have done. The game seems to think I could have done something, but there's not. And obviously there's ways through everything. It's not like the game is cheating and unfair or something like that. It's that the way that these controls work doesn't feel that same clean. Seriously? Okay. So when he gets down to 1 health, he does that. Everything else in this fight seems to be on a regular cycle. Like, he does a thing, and then he does the next thing. He was 1 health, I thought he was at 1.5. This shouldn't be this hard. I feel like there might be a better weapon. much better angle at. Please don't have a second phase. There's a second phase. Just had that moment of, oh, they didn't refill health and stuff like last time. After the Enchantress fight. Which means my awesome strategy is kind of a bust. Laughing at the end isn't helping. please. Okay, full health, full vigor going into this. I already hate it. Right there. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. With it not feeling fair. Like, you're already mid-jump. There's nothing you can do mid-jump. You've already used your recovery, your first recovery option. If you didn't have the frog, you just fall. I was actually considering there going back and quitting the level out to get another proclamation. We did it, King Knight. Our spell is broken, but help, I'm losing my grip. Yes, King Knight, you have proven yourself. Come with me. Forget these weaklings. Join my order of no quarter and rule Pridemore Keep as its one true king. It's all yours. Just abandon your friends. Ha! He would never. My boy, don't listen to her. You wouldn't leave us to hang here, would you? Have you learned nothing about being a king? Please, what would your mother think? Silence. Okay. Shred every justice card. The King of Cards competition is over. The only crown that matters is mine. Shall be so. The armies of the Tower of Fate are prepared to march. Yep, that's kind of what I guessed. So, the original Shovel Knight was this great nostalgia trip. Okay, that's clever at least. So yeah, the original is this great nostalgia trip of a game. They had the pogo aspect and everything, it felt really good. Now, the pogo aspect was a throwback to DuckTales, had some, you know, feelings of like Mega Man and some other stuff. It was a really solid game. It was really cool. But it was a really straightforward game. It was about what you would expect from that kind of a platformer. It didn't have the depth that we got from the next two games. And like, we got spoiled. Spectre Knight and Plague Knight both had these amazing campaigns. Spectre Knight has this really awesome lore behind it. You know, you get all these little side scenes. And for the most part, the movement felt really good. There were a few times where it would be a little bit awkward, but for the most part, you could tell what you'd expect. And you got what you'd expect from it. Plague Knight, again, there were some awkward things. Occasionally I pushed the wrong button, but I knew I was pushing the wrong button when I did it. And it was always with the difference between the charge and the up B. or the hold up and push attack, or the hold to charge the attack, for his, the difference between his specials and his other attacks. And Plague Knight also had a great sense of humor to it. The customizable power-ups were also kind of a nice touch. King Knight, the gameplay went back to closer to the original. Except for instead of feeling clean like Shovel Knight, it felt awkward the whole time. I kind of had this perpetual lurch in my stomach where I wasn't sure what was going to happen, where I'm gripping the controller too tightly because I feel like I'm not in control. None of the it's just standard items like Shovel Knight. You get way less health technically, less customization. The stages were mostly shorter, but some of them also felt like there were too long between the save points. I've lost everything, darling, but as long as I behold you, I'm a rich man. Off we go. I like the fact that this sets up all of the other games. Like, this ending sets up all of the stuff. But while there's some, like, redemption to Spectre Knight, I mean, Spectre Knight goes beyond redemption, where it's this very deep, interesting character, where you're actually getting to feel what he's giving up. Plague Knight, the opposite. You get this, like, little burst of hope where you're cheering for him. He's almost an underdog character by the end, even though he's kind of a weirdo. You find out the whole thing is to impress a girl. And the dance scene at that was amazing. And I feel like the stories and mechanics all kind of match up with this. The most depth in the game were the middle two. Like, Spectre Knight and Plague Knight were by far the most depth in the game. But Shovel Knight was a great basic game as well. King Knight, both with the mechanics and the story, I never liked him. Like, I put up with him because he's our, person we're following, and occasionally he was kind of funny. And occasionally there was this little moment where it was like, oh, that's neat. But there's no... Like, he's a bad guy. He is a crappy character who's just this shallow... Like, I had this brief moment here where I was getting ready to take everything I'd said back and say, you know what? When they had that scene with King Pridemore and his mom, and I was like, clearly they're going to do this little thing where he's going to realize everything he's lost. Where he's going to realize it, and there's going to be just one line, or like not even a line, just him like standing and watching them walk away and realizing what he's lost and having this dejected pose, even if it was just briefly before he went back to being, putting on his airs. But it wasn't. It was The character is shallow and boring. The gameplay was awkward and frustrating. I liked the card game. This is the only Shovel Knight that I've felt this grateful that it was over. And I'm really disappointed by that because it's the last one. Now, I don't believe it's actually going to be the last one, but it's the last of the original Shovel Knight. Like, this is the last free DLC that's come out. It's been a long time in coming. And yeah, I'm not. 120 lives lost. Yeah. I'm not gonna come back and complete this. If I do, it'll be the cards, not the actual game. Unless there's something else. Like, by the time I got to this point, I was ready to just be done. I wasn't gonna stop playing it. I finished it. But it feels really disappointing and really hollow, all things considered. My boots are clean of trouble spit, and I've rid my kingdom of every blasted joust card. Best of all, my castle is a gleaming shrine with golden opulence, a worthy monument to my grandeur. Long last I can settle into my throne and bask in my imperfection. I'll be king forever. And that's really the end, okay. So yeah. Disappointed. It's done. I really don't know how to end this at this point, so hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one. We are officially done with Shovel Knight. We'll got lots of other games coming up still. I've been starting a run of Hades that I've really enjoyed. I've been continuing Fallout. I have a whole host of Metroidvanias lined up. I've got some other ones that I'm not sure if they're going to work with my recording software yet, just as far as if my computer can handle them. Newer games. But I also have started some plans to potentially be getting some upgrades to my computer to help correct that as well. So yeah. As always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time. For Chivalry.